Welcome back to the show, Sharon.
Hi, Chris.
So time to talk about exam stress. Now, how can parents help their kids that are going through this difficult time, challenging time?
It is difficult and challenging because I think not only is it very stressful for the young people that are taking the exams, they're right in the thick of it, aren't they? Let's face it.
Yeah.
And they're getting, sort of stress from the teachers and everybody else. But it's very stressful for parents as well. So it all seems to be a really big melting pot. Yeah. So there are some really practical things that parents can do, and I think it's the practical things that are going to be the most helpful. Mm-hmm. So food helps us fuel the brain. You have your nutritionists on here, and they're talking about that all of the time. So 3 healthy, balanced meals, really important, because I don't know about you, but often if I'm stressed, the first thing I'll reach for is something quick, something sweet, something unhealthy. And then we get those big sugar rushes and then dips. So important that, as parents, we just get some nice healthy snacks in so they can reach for something that's healthy and make sure they're eating balanced meals and not skipping the breakfast first thing in the morning, really important. So that's one practical thing. The next practical thing is just to sit down with them and just to make sure that they've got a good study timetable. Something that's balanced. Alarm bell should ring if your child is saying, I'm just going to go and do half an hour maths. Well, what about, what part of the maths? It should now be structured down into topic sections, So sit down with them, make sure they've got sort of a study timetable so that and they know what they need to be doing at a particular day at a particular time. They really need to be maximising their time really right now. So that's 2 things. A couple of other things, making sure they've got a good workspace, a clear, quiet space in which to study, distraction-free, ideally a desk or a table, somewhere where they have a nice, big, clear working space, so they feel organised and, tidy space, tidy mind, that type of thing. And making sure that the distractions of the phone and things aren't around. So some practical things, to start off with, really.
Any no-nos, would you say?
Oh, absolute no-nos would be us nagging.
Okay.
I think it's really easy because we want our children to do well. We sort of nag them to say, are you doing your revision? How much revision have you done? And actually that can stress them out even more. So let's support rather than nag. Let's encourage rather than criticise. So sit down and maybe work some goals out with them. So what I've done with both of my boys is ask them the grades that they would like to or feel that they are able to achieve themselves. So it's a self-motivated goal. That's good, yeah. And then what I do, and I advise parents that I coach to do, is just to say, bearing in mind that mark that you wanted to get, are you doing enough revision, do you feel, to get the result that you want? And that way the onus is on sort of them a little bit more.
That's very smart, that is. It's saying the same thing but in a much nicer way.
Well, language is really powerful, isn't it? We can say the same thing but in a very different way. So, we don't need to stress them out. Certainly no energy drinks, like caffeine infused drinks. And no revision in front of the television. An absolute no-no. Oh, and my final one would be, and I'm sure parents will roll their eyes and children will groan, but bedtime needs to be bedtime. So no phones in the bedroom during that study, revision time and exam time. So they really need good night's sleep.
Okay. And how involved should parents be with the actual revision itself, or should they be involved in that at all, with actually helping with?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm sure a lot of teachers will always know if a parent has done a child's homework for them. And we can't revise for them, but we can help them to study. Okay. So, if you help them by getting organised and making sure they've got their little cue cards and that type of thing, well, then you can test them and ask them questions from their cue cards. Maybe discuss and have discussions around a particular topic. So if they're doing geography, you might sort of listen to current affairs and then talk about what's going on in the world. And that broadens their knowledge of the topic. And just sort of pay an interest really in what they're doing. So discussing what they're doing, asking them to talk to you about a particular topic. Because when we talk to somebody, that reinforces the learning that we're doing ourselves. So
Wonderful tips as usual, Sharon. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And we'll see you again for
I
another
look forward to
topic
it,
soon.
Chris. Look forward to it.